Hey, and welcome. A lot of us think about keeping our minds sharp, especially as we get older. But what if one of the biggest keys to better brain health wasn't in some complicated puzzle book, but right there on our dinner plate? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty simple but powerful way to eat that some research suggests could be a real game changer for our minds.
So, are you curious? Really curious about a special way to not just protect your brain, but to actually boost its power for years to come? If the answer is yes, then stick around, because we're about to get into a really surprising connection at the heart of all this.
Look, it's totally normal to worry a little about our brain health as time goes on. But what if there was a surprising piece of the puzzle that could completely change how we think about it? The research we're exploring today, well, it points to something incredibly hopeful.
Okay, now get ready for this, because the source material we're looking at makes a truly massive claim that conditions we often think of as irreversible, like Alzheimer's and type 2 diabetes, just might, be reversible. It's a huge idea, and it all boils down to the fuel we're putting in our bodies and, most importantly, our brains.
To really wrap our heads around this, we first have to talk about something called sugar overload and what that does to the brain. This whole idea has actually led some in the research community to come up with a brand new term for it. And that term is type 3 diabetes. Now, I want to be super clear here. This is not an official medical diagnosis you'll get from your doctor. It's more of a descriptive term, a framework that some researchers are using. And it's a really helpful way to think about it because it frames Alzheimer's as a problem with how the brain handles sugar for energy. The theory is that the brain itself can become resistant to insulin, which makes it super hard for brain cells to get the fuel they desperately need.
This right here, it just nails the core of the problem. Just try to picture it. Your brain, the command center for your entire body, is just constantly swimming in too much sugar. Over time, that's going to cause serious issues, right? It's kind of like trying to run a high-performance engine on cheap, dirty fuel. So, if a sugar overload is the problem, what's the solution?
Well, it turns out our brain has this amazing backup plan, a sort of secret weapon. It has the ability to switch over and run on a totally different, much cleaner energy source. And that secret weapon is a low-carb, high-fat diet, or LCHF for short. And you know what? The idea behind it is actually wonderfully simple. By changing what you eat, you can literally change what your brain uses for fuel.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. On one side, you've got sugar from carbs. That's the body's default fuel. But as we've seen, it can lead to that dangerous overload. But on the other side, you have healthy fats. And this approach sees them as a clean, super efficient alternative fuel for your brain.
So, how does this big switch actually happen? It's a pretty logical three-step process. First, you just start reducing the amount of carbohydrates you eat. That's the signal to your body that its usual go-to fuel is getting scarce. Second, your body, being incredibly smart, shifts gears and starts burning its stored fat for energy instead. And third, this fat-burning process creates these amazing little molecules called ketones.
And these ketones, they are the real key here. You can think of them like a high-octane, premium fuel for your brain. Our source even calls them a superior form of brain food and says your brain absolutely loves to run on them. It's all about getting off that up and down sugar roller coaster and onto a smooth, steady, clean energy supply.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like on your plate at dinner time? Let's get practical for a minute and talk about the kinds of foods that actually make up this brain-healthy way of eating.
The focus here is on real, whole, unprocessed foods that are packed with healthy fats. Things like grass-fed meat, those delicious avocados, and all kinds of nuts. See, the goal isn't about feeling deprived, it's about fueling your body and brain with delicious, satisfying foods that protect it at the same time.
So let's kind of zoom out and bring this all together. What we're talking about isn't just another diet. It's really a conscious choice you can make for a sharper future. It's about being proactive and taking charge of your own brain health for the long run.
And the ultimate goal? It's so simple but so powerful. A healthier, sharper mind that lets you enjoy every moment and live your life to the fullest. The hope is that by rethinking our brain's fuel source, we can keep our minds vibrant and healthy for many, many years to come.
You know, the source material puts it just perfectly. It frames the choices we make today as a gift we're giving to the person we'll be down the road. The quote is simple, but it really hits home. Your future self will thank you. What a great way to think about it.
And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. This isn't about waiting around for the perfect time to start. It's about taking that first small, simple step.
So for that healthier, sharper mind you want tomorrow, why not start today?